In today's W analysis, while Fannie Lou Hamer is the most Christ-like activist of the 20th century, Proverbs 19:17 states, "Whoever is kind to the poor lends to the Lord, and he will reward them for what they've done." Last fall, American governing powers withheld food benefits from 42 million families, and in typical cynical fashion, many Americans agree with this move. These same Americans will go down with their typical chastisement of the poor, claiming them to be lazy, scammers of the system, and ending with their same old regurgitated talking points of how poor people need to get a job. With the same breath, these same Americans will be quick to tell you that this is a Christian nation and how we're one nation under God. With hypocrisy at an all-time high, it's important that we keep true examples of Christ and Christ-like living at the forefront. And then for freedom's sake, the life of Fannie Lou Hamer, we not only see how Fannie was the epitome of Christ-like living, but we also see how that living can build the community for good. One of Fannie's most remarkable accomplishments was her Freedom Farm, where she literally assisted the poor with food, clothing, housing, education, and mental fortitude to sustain it all. In 1969, Hamer laid the groundwork for an elaborate project to make poor folks economically self-sufficient. The project became the Freedom Farm Corporation, and through her work with the farm, Hamer broadened the meaning of civil rights activism to include addressing the economic needs of Black poor folks. As I list these 5 components, keep in mind that Fannie was still running around the country raising money for many of these efforts. The first component of Freedom Farm was the pig bank. Poor people suffered mightily from malnutrition, and so to combat this, Fannie set up the pig bank, which would donate a female pig to a family in need. The Dorothy Height-led National Council of Negro Women organization donated 50 pigs to get the project started. The female pig would have anywhere from 9 to 20 baby pigs, and the mother pig would be returned. When 2 of the female pigs from the litter became pregnant, the family would then donate that pig to the next family in need. The system will go on to provide pigs to upwards of 900 families. The second component of Freedom Farm was the acquisition of land for raising vegetables. In 1969, Hamer, by way of constant fundraising, was able to purchase roughly 700 acres of land in rural Mississippi. The land was used to raise fresh vegetables and small amounts of cotton for families. And though the land was underdeveloped due to lacking irrigation, Freedom Farm would go on to harvest 70 acres of nutritional food and feed roughly 250 families. The cotton was picked and sold, and the proceeds were used to purchase seed for new crops. The third component of the farm involved housing. Fannie goes on to state, "We decided to organize everybody who lived in a shack, which was most of us, and teach them how to take advantage of low-cost FHA and farm mortgages. Once we got started, we found that so many people wanted to take part that we didn't have time to give the organization a name. We just sort of called it the co-op. With crop revenues and small loans from compliant local banks, the Freedom Farm Corporation helped provide 35 families with down payments, and aided by local contractors, Black and white, the Freedom Farm had built 70 affordable homes by 1972. The fourth component of the farm focused on education, providing grants to several students from the area so they could complete or further their schooling. Targeting 3 high schools within the county, the farm was able to grant 25 students with scholarships to pursue a college education or vocational training. The fifth and final component was a business development plan. With this component, the Freedom Farm would lend loans or other resources to local Black businesses, as those businesses would turn around and put a percentage of sales back into the needs and the operations of the farm. The farm would continue to benefit the community by acting as a social service agency, providing transportation to and from medical facilities for families in need. They assisted with employment efforts and also carried out picket lines and boycotts of local merchants that abused Black customers. The Freedom Farm was the essence of Fannie Lou's philosophy. She would go on to say, "Give us food and it will be gone tomorrow. Give us land and the tools to work it, and we'll feed ourselves forever." I'll give you one more Bible verse and then we'll have our benediction. In Matthew 7, verse 16, Jesus is speaking to the masses about people who claim to be religious or righteous. However, their behavior and their treatment of others is a true indication of their character. He goes on to say, "You will know them by their fruit." So before you chastise poor people, ask yourself, what are you going to do to help? With nonprofit organizations constantly looking for volunteer work, consider giving more of your time and less of your opinion. For more details about Fannie Lou, pick up For Freedom's Sake, The Life of Fannie Lou Hamer, and get a better understanding of what it takes to be a true activist. Like if you enjoyed this segment, share if it could benefit others, subscribe for more book-related content. Till then, stay in the book and stay out the way.